Okay, good morning, practical preppers. So today we're going to start to learn about some cool stuff. As you can see, I've shifted from my normal full face mask, as that's not really a practical way to get around anywhere without being seen. A baseball cap or just simply a mask, much easier to travel around town without being noticed. And the key to traveling in an emergency situation is not drawing any attention to yourself whatsoever. So when it comes to the bag you carry, you don't want it to look like a more or less, it just needs to look like a hiker's duffel bag, right? Which is more or less the same as a tactical rucksack. But that being said, I'm a person that wears black. I always wear black. I only have 3 colors of clothing altogether, and that's white, black, and gray. So if I bug out around my normal area, seeing me in all black is not going to be anything new to anyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some things in this office that you haven't seen before. In this office, I have just my initial bug out. This does not include any member of my family. This is what the weight that I know that I can carry for long distances of time. This is also the bag that I will carry that has defensive measures in it. I'm going to go over a few today. I'm going to stay away from firearms, but I am going to show you a few PCP rifles that are very practical for prepping, because you get an infinite amount of rounds off of them, and you can take down animals very ethically should you ever need to. It goes without saying, if you can take down an animal, you could probably also defend yourself with them. Alright, so let's take a look. Now that's the computer that I sit at, and just to the side of it is just my get and go bug out gear. I have this backpack turned around just to show you kind of what the backpack looks like. Usually I would have it turned the other direction, because when I come to this, it's already at my waist. I can put it right around me, my arms in it, etc. This is the secondary rifle I will be attaching to my backpack. This is not a Kevlar helmet. This is just a simple helmet. I believe it was airsoft, and I've went ahead and put the attachments that I really need onto this. This blue stripe is kind of a universal sign of non-traditional military in the United States. This would be in my bag most likely, unless I was leaving at night. That's why I've left this, basically this entire part of my bag is open, and the rest will be filled in with warm clothes that I need. Down here to my, sorry, I'm not the greatest cameraman. Down here, the most important things that could ever go into a bug out bag nowadays for so many reasons. So I plug my ham radio in, and I look like the little army man from, you know, when you were a kid. So my bug out bag, very, very simple. All I care about is weight. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with heavy objects always on the top by your shoulders. And if you have them low by your waist, it is going to drastically reduce the amount you can carry and for how long you can carry those amounts. Again, on the top, by the way, this particular bag here, all within this is a ferrule bag, so it won't damage my electronics. This is just a regular AM FM radio. It has a solar charger and a hand crank. Very handy to have, with it also being a battery bank. Redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. I do carry a little bit of water, but here is a water straw. I can tell you that these things work in Southern California. While going through training in the U.S. military, they made us basically drink out of the nastiest water you could ever imagine just to show us that these work. And I didn't get sick, so. But I also have water purification tablets. Water is extremely heavy. It's very important to have. And then in here, just a few simple, lightweight things to make my life a little bit better. Poncho. This is web netting in case I want to sleep above the ground. I can rig it up pretty easily, and I have the rest of the equipment in here. I can rig myself up a nice little hammock. Food. All my family, I only carry a little bit, but all of my family carries 4 rations. I like the MRE rations for bug out bags. I know that they're kind of expensive, but in all honesty, this thing has, I believe, 8,000 calories in it. I could make this one MRE go quite a long ways. So, I have my 1, 2, and then my old classic C ration, so 3. There's another part in the front we'll get to here in a second. Okay, so in the back, I have my must-have, which is a gas mask, cylinder for my gas mask, and this is something that I'm just going to continuously keep inside of the bag that it's designed for. What is this, you might ask? Well, this isn't anything to keep you warm. This is actually a full-on ghillie suit, which I haven't went through the process of making it my own ghillie suit for natural environments, but it will work for what I need. When I'm traveling with my family, I'm not going to be traveling directly with them because that would not be smart. I'm going to be traveling at a distance to where I can protect them safely, and that's when a ghillie suit may come in helpful. So it's not something that you do have to have, and being in black is good. But there are a few tricks that I learned. If I have a ghillie suit and if I have a couple lights, I can be very, very invisible. And if I was to ever fire a round for whatever reason through a PCP with a muffled noise reducer, you will never hear that shot. Never. Which is obviously a major advantage. And quite possibly the thing that I hate worse than anything in the entire world right here. Every one of my family members has one in their kit. This is what you call a mop suit, okay? It will keep you safe from biological and chemical weapons. It's the most miserable thing you've ever put on in your life. It stinks. It stinks. It makes it to where you can't see anything, you can't hear anything. You're burning up. I don't care if it's negative 50 degrees outside. You feel like you're in a sauna. And in times where you might have to wear a mop suit, you're most likely going to have to wear it at extended periods of time. So I think a lot of us, anyone that preps, has some kind of fear that our power grid is just not substantial. Now, our nuclear power plants they do have backups, right? They can be fed off of both diesel, and the really smart nuclear power plants can be fed off of water that's simply gravity that's feeding those plants. But in an event where there is a major blackout, at some point in time, those plants will start to lose water and they will start to leak radiation. So we're going to do this on another show about planning your evacuation route and knowing what to stay away from, understanding how the winds travel, no matter where you're at in this country, but you do want to get away from nuclear sites. Let's see what else. The last thing that I have in here, I don't even need to open it, but are some various rounds for something. Okay. Right on the side pocket, where everything important is right here. Most important, my knife, flashlight, okay? There's even a compass I'll keep in this side. But a full trauma kit, okay? And when I mean trauma kit, this is numerous. Here, let me show it to you. Okay, everything from numerous tourniquets, which we also keep, all of us keep, on a side pouch, along with chest sealers and quick spots and everything you can possibly imagine for a real emergency. The one thing that's not in there is something that you can't buy, and that's antibiotics. And you need to have antibiotics. They are the most important thing you can have in your kit if you're going to travel. A little scratch on your foot in our world today, no big problem. A little scratch on your foot in a dirty world where you're hiking across the country, major problem. You're talking about potential life and death. So save as many antibiotics as you can. You can get antibiotics online through fish stores. So if you can find a Canadian fish store, they sell antibiotics that are exactly the same as amoxicillin. And strangely enough, they're dosed per 5 gallons, so a tablet gives you 500 milligrams for a 5-gallon tank. And it's fairly cheap. There's a few other meds that I'm going to show you here in a sec that I recommend that you carry, but that's what's in that side pouch. Our next side pouch is the one thing that you must carry, but I really dislike carrying it because it's heavy.